So welcome, good evening and welcome. This is our Kindness Week themed Courageous Conversation. The Coalition for Dismantling Racism has been, for 30 years now, has been hosting Courageous Conversations. Every other month or so, I think they have been. This particular conversation held during Kindness Week. We wanted to have a Kindness Week theme, and the committee thought, what a great idea to hear from our students, to get some student voices involved. And so I would like to thank our students in advance for being here this evening as well. Before we get started, I would like to just acknowledge a few people, and forgive me because I'm not going to know everybody, but shout out to my boss, my supervisor, Mr. Bill Haycock. He is the Chief of School Leadership. There he is right there. Thank you. Wave and smile to the people. All right. I think I saw Mr. Wirch. Mr. Wirch here. There you go. Thank you. And yes, any other elected officials? Thank you. And your name, sir? Thank you. I've seen you this week. I should have it memorized by now, but my apologies. I recognize your face, though. My grandmother would say, charge my head, not my heart. Shout out to Lawrence Kirby from Building Our Future, and also Kindness Committee. We're going to be co-facilitating this evening. I appreciate you. Any other Kindness Week committee members here? Thank you, sir. Hello. Well, thank you. What about coalition members? Any coalition members? All right, welcome. Thank you. So, the history of Kindness Week. This is, I think, it has been said this week at some point, like this is the 27th annual Kindness Week. Let's give a round of applause for that. Kindness Week started under the umbrella of the coalition 27 years ago in celebration of and recognizing and commemorating Dr. King and his work. We're going to get started. I would just like the students to introduce themselves. And we'll just start in the front here, use the mic, and if you could introduce yourself by letting people know your name, your school, and what grade you're in.
Hi, I'm Carmen DeGrazio, and I'm in 9th grade, and I go to Indian Track.
Hi, I'm Mia Vasquez, and I'm in 7th grade, and I go to Mahone Middle.
Hi, I'm Ava Baltic. I am in 7th grade, and I go to Mahone Middle.
Hi, I'm Gabby Knapp. I'm in 6th grade and I go to Mahone Middle School.
Hi, I'm Noah Benzikin. I'm in 6th grade and I go to Mahone Middle School.
Hello, I'm Jordan Ferguson and I'm an 8th grader at Mahone.
Hi, my name is Audrey Ann and I'm a 5th grader at Stoughton Elementary.
Hi, I'm Jalissa Thomas and I go to Curtis Street Elementary.
Hi, I'm Tyler Matthews and I go to Washington Middle School.
All right, let's give a big round of applause for this man. So that was testing. We got to make sure that we're talking into the mic well so people can hear us, all right? So I am so proud of these students. I was telling them as we were standing off over there to the side, I am their protector this evening, okay? So I want them to feel safe and feel comfortable. This is a safe space, it's informal. We just want them to relax and have a conversation with us. And I know that's easier said than done, but that is what we're going to do. So again, thank you for being here this evening. As I mentioned before, the purpose is not often enough do we take the time to pause and listen to our students. I can brag, I get to do that on a daily, weekly basis in the role that I am in, but you all don't get to, so I'm kind of sharing them with you this evening. So we have some questions. I want to give a little bit of overview for you of how the evening is going to run. We do have some questions for the student panelists. They will have, we don't want to be here all night, right? So 2 to 3 minutes to respond, all right? But they will have an opportunity to respond to some of the questions that were submitted prior to this evening, and they have those in front of them. We may not get to all of these questions. They may go out of order too, depending on how the responses are coming in. Also, audience members, if you have a question that you would like to ask the students, just please kind of raise your hand. We'll help. We have note cards and something you can write down a question, okay? But when doing that, please make sure that the questions are kept general, right? This is not the time. We're not trying to attack any specific school or staff or situation. That's not what this evening or event is for. So keep in mind, we're not here to bash the district or any school or staff. We certainly want, as I said when I first started, we certainly want the students to feel safe and comfortable in sharing in this space, or sharing their experience, their truth, okay? So we're going to respect that. All right? Any questions from the panel before we get started? We good? Clear? All right, just let me know at any point. Okay. We're gonna start out with just an easy warm-up question. Who would like to share, and everybody can answer, but if the mic comes to you and you want to pass, you pass, but what's your favorite subject or class in school, and why? Give us a little bit of why.
So I'm actually in the military academy at my school, and my favorite class is that class because it teaches me how to be a better citizen and just gives me a lot of good life skills. So.
If I had to choose a subject, it would definitely be social studies, generally because, last year was better definitely because it was more modern events, but this year is because I just love hearing about the world, where people came from, where people's backgrounds, and culture is just a very interesting topic to me, so.
My favorite subject is probably English because I excel very well at it and it just comes very easy to me and I think it's very interesting.
My favorite subject is math because I like to solve equations and I can do it very easily.
My favorite subject is English because I have a really good English teacher and I like to read stories.
My favorite subject is math because one, I've always excelled at it, and two, you keep building every year and it keeps getting harder and harder.
My favorite subject is reading, not one only because of my teacher, and two because all the great books that she's introduced me to.
My favorite subject is science because we do lots of fun experiments.
My favorite subject is science because the teacher, she really makes it easy to learn science. My favorite subject is math because I'm really excellent at it.
Okay. All right. Don't forget we have 2 mics. Can we give them a big round of applause already? They're amazing already. We're just getting started. We may have some future teachers at the table. That's awesome. Yeah, you're right. Right. The next question is, so this year's Kindness Week theme is Kindness Begins With Me. And I would like for you, anyone who wants to share in your own words, what does kindness, what does it mean to you? What does kind mean to you in your own words?
So for me, kindness is not it's not just complimenting anybody or just helping somebody. It's the actual genuine feeling that you want to make other people smile and feel happy, and not just doing it because, oh, other people are doing this, oh, this will benefit me and make me look like a good person. So having the genuine feeling and making other people feel happy is kindness.
I absolutely love her answer, but to add on to that, I think, yeah, kindness genuinely comes in from the heart. You can obviously say stuff that you don't mean, but kindness is caring about other people's feelings. Kindness is like compliments, but in a compliment kind of way where you want them to feel good about themselves, and not just because you like it or whatever they're wearing. It's because you want them to feel good in what they're wearing.
I believe that kindness is something that you're not naturally at it, but you can develop it. I totally agree with what both of them say, but it's something that you can learn to do, and it just makes me personally happy to see other people happy and just see them excited about something, and that's what kindness, I think, is.
To me, this theme means that it's up to you to be kind, and it's not really anybody else's job, and it's up to you to make a difference.
There's several aspects of kindness, but it's if you just pick up someone's book when they drop it or lend someone a pencil, that can really make someone's day, and that helps too.
I think kindness is something that you do not to like get attention from others, but that you know makes not only them happy, but it makes yourself feel good as well.
Adding on to what they said, kindness is kind of something that takes courageous, and you have to be very brave to do kind things. And when you're doing that, it really makes people feel good, and it comes from your heart.
I think kindness is like when you do something nice to somebody else, which makes them happy and you happy.
I think kindness is like the ability to give your time to help somebody else, and also like you to hear about it, like they said. I think kindness is basically like treating people how you want to be treated.
Thank you for that. I'm wondering if anyone has a particular, is there a time or an experience that you've had when you showed someone else kindness? What was that like? How did it make you feel? Or was there a time when it was shown to you? Does that make sense? So tell us about a time that either you showed someone kindness or someone else showed kindness to you, and how that, how was that experience?
So for me, I'm not very good at like showing emotions. So I'm gonna do an example when someone was kind to me. I was having a really crappy day. Like my dog threw up on my clothes. It was picture day. It was just really bad. And the outfit that I chose to wear that day was not what I wanted to wear. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel like the feeling that I wanted to feel like I was gonna look pretty in my picture. And then someone I didn't even know, who was actually my best friend now, told me that they really liked, I think it was like my shirt or my sweater or something, and it just like made my entire day, and I felt like I could just like wear whatever and people would still like not judge me. So I guess the kindness was a compliment for me because I was kind of having a rough day.
One experience I had with kindness came from a teacher. It was actually kind of recent. So I was having like not the best day, and I was just kind of out of it. I didn't feel like being anywhere. I didn't feel like smiling. I didn't feel like doing my work. It was just, I wasn't there. And my teacher was passing out assignments, and she came to me and she said, "Are you okay?" But she said it in a way that was like, she cared about me, right? And that felt really good. She wanted to know if I was okay. She wanted to know if she could make it better. And that just was a really good feeling.
Similar to hers, I one day was having a terrible day, and a teacher walked up to me. I was in a student council meeting, and I was totally out of it, and she asked me what was wrong, and I don't know what happened, but I just totally opened up to her, and it made me feel so good. I just really needed that, and it totally helped me so much and made my day much better.
I once had a friend when I was trying something new, and they came right up to me and introduced me to the thing, and we walked right in, and it made me feel really good, like I belonged.
A couple of days ago in science class, we were taking notes and my mechanical pencil wasn't working. So I asked someone if they could help me, and they like fixed the pencil somehow. And that just like, it really made me smile because it wasn't that big, but it's still an act of kindness.
So a couple years ago, I took a STEM class. It was an elective, and one of my friends, every time I'd walk down the hallway to go to the class, and she would see what I was wearing, and she would get really excited, and it made me feel really good because I knew that every time I got there was someone that was always excited to see me and what I was doing.
Almost like what she said, but I have this one friend that has cared for me for a really long time and has always made sure I was okay, and I strongly believe, and I know she believes too, that what goes around comes around.
Like, there's this one teacher at my school that's like always nice to like everybody, and it feels good.
This situation was like pretty recent. It was like today. So I was struggling with this assignment. There was only like one page left, and like my teacher, when she was like focused on the work, and she was talking about how she had so much work to do, but she took the time out of her day to come help me with this assignment.
Okay, thank you. Wow, I hope we are listening and learning. Wow, you all are amazing. You know, and so we've spent some time talking about kindness and all this good stuff, right? But just being real, not every day is a good day. Not every experience at school is always good. And if it is, great. I love that. But just being real, even I sometimes have bad days. Don't tell Mr. But so is there a time at school or a situation that you've experienced that had the opposite effect, either from that you experienced or someone close to you? So we all know bullying is real and all these other things, right? And so, you know, share a little bit about that. Like, I think sometimes we hear information secondhand, third hand, but what can you share firsthand experience with a not so good experience, and how do you handle that?
So when I was younger, I was a timid child. I dealt with a lot of bullying myself, and all I'm gonna say, it's not fun. It's not good. And there's also been times where I have done that choice, and I do regret it because it doesn't only hurt somebody else, but it kind of hurts you because it tears you down without you knowing it. All it does is it makes you less of a good person, and it just, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to explain it.
Take your time.
Being the bully or bullying, either way, it does not make anybody better. Even though you're doing it, some people do it to build their own self-esteem, but that doesn't build your self-esteem. All it does is tear somebody else's down, and you think it does because you think you're better, but you're not. All you're doing is lowering your self-esteem in the process, and I feel like it's something that people need to understand. If you want everyone to be better, if you want to be better for yourself, you have to better other people. You can't just go and insult somebody so you feel better about what you have in your life. You have to be happy with what you have and build that up on yourself instead of trying to hurt other people in the process of building yourself.
One time, let's see. Well, it's not necessarily a specific experience, but definitely it happens often. There's people who will be like, why is your hair like that? Why are your clothes like that? Why are your pants up so high? Why are your pants up so low? Why is your shirt cut like that? Why is it that color? And it just makes you walk around thinking that you are not good. And not good on the inside, it doesn't matter about that. It starts to all matter about what you look on the outside. And you start to focus on it, and you think everybody's looking at you, and maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but sometimes that shouldn't really matter. Well, all the time it shouldn't really matter, but people think it does, and that means that they just don't realize the importance of how you are on the inside. And that's something that takes a really, really long time and a lot of experience to figure out.
Well, this year I've definitely learned a lot that some kids are just a little bit insecure about themselves and maybe they've been bullied in the past or have some sort of problem, but they just like to come back to you and find the worst thing about you and bring it up. But I've learned that the best way to come through it is to just be as kind as you possibly can about it and try to stop the situation or get help to stop the situation. But a lot of people don't do that, so sometimes you have to get a little extra help to stop the situation that's happening with like people bullying you, kind of what she said, just nitpicking at the worst things about you. And yeah.
Well, for one thing, rumors, like if someone starts a rumor about you, then they tell Tommy, and then he tells Olivia, then she tells Kelly, and it starts off as a joke, and then the joke doesn't become funny, it just becomes everyone laughing at you or not being nice to you, and then eventually there's rumors about other people, and everybody feels down, and no one knows like what to do, so just, yeah.
So about like the rumors, we've learned, and especially my friend group, to not keep adding fuel to the fire. And it's okay to pause, take a step back, and go get help when you need one.
I definitely agree with what they both said, especially what you said. A joke is only so funny to where the joke starts to become and it hurts more and more and more, and then genuinely if the joke isn't fun anymore.
Some jokes you have to like make sure with the person that it's okay to tell the joke, because some people tell the joke without knowing if it.
All right, well, we're gonna try and, continue, sorry for that interruption there. They're working on it in the back, but thank you so much for sharing those things. So, I'm just wondering, what do parents need to know? What do teachers need to know? Like, how can we help in these situations? Like, is there a time where, I'm a mom of 3 at home, right? I work in the school system. Like, I've been an elementary school principal. We can't know everything, see everything. So what, if you were to give parents, staff advice, like, what do we need to know? How can we help? If that makes sense.
Okay, so one thing in my experiences with like all of this is I've been like a bystander and I've been bullied, and at one point I was the bully. Teachers and principals and deans, they don't take it as serious as they need to, because like when I was bullied, I talked to them, they're like, okay, where's the evidence? Where's this? Where's that? How do you have proof that this happened? And if they can't find any little thing, they won't do anything. If they do find it, there's just like a warning, like I'll warn them. But then it just continues to happen. There's just warnings and warnings, and it doesn't do anything, but tells the victim of bullying that they can't get help anywhere. And the bully that they can just continue to do it, and I think that it needs to be taken into like better hands, or teachers need to care more, because all it's doing is letting the same thing continue to happen and nothing changes, and then people get upset otherwise, and like it gets worse. It just doesn't.
Yeah, I definitely agree that it needs to be taken more seriously, because you tell a dean, you tell the principal, you tell teacher, whatever, and they say, okay, well, I'll tell them to stop, or you tell them to stop, or just like treat it with kindness, or whatever, something like that, small
does it usually to take it out on people, like just to release all that anger they have. And telling them to stop isn't gonna make them stop if they're not getting punished. If they're getting punished, then they'll like listen, they'll take it more seriously. But I definitely think teachers everyone just needs to care more and realize how this comes to happen.
So I think that students do need to come out to the teachers a little bit more about their problems. Students just sometimes get scared, so I think that the teachers should possibly step more into action, and maybe, because some students are too scared or think, oh, I'll get in trouble if I tell about the situation, or what if the kid who I'm mad at or has issues with is going to tell lies about me. I feel like as teachers just need to create a better system that really just works for everybody. I don't know if that's possible, but it's a good idea.
I feel like that there is a certain time where teachers and principals should step in, but there's also a time where students need to solve their own problems, or the students need to work it out themselves.
Well, not like she said, middle schoolers obviously aren't going to get bullied at school and then go to their mom and dad and spill their guts out. You kind of need to be like a system to help them to actually confess to what's happening and get some help.
I think students should definitely, or when students come to their teachers, the teachers should definitely believe them. Because if, let's say, a student came to their teacher and was like, hey, so-and-so is bullying me, and the teacher says something along the lines of, well, I had that kid in my class, and I think they're a really nice kid, that bullying is not going to stop. It's just going to continue because the teacher doesn't do anything about it.
I definitely agree with a lot of people. But one thing is kind of like what parents need to know is kind of like, I'm not going to raise the kids wrong, but kind of educate more of the children on how bullying works and what a joke is and what seriously bullying is.
So, it's like, sometimes the adult can tell when a child's being bullied or something, but other times they don't. And then the adult tells the adult to doesn't leave, and then the victim reacts, and they don't tell it.
Okay, make sure we're speaking up loud so the people all the way in the back can hear us, okay? I know it's kind of annoying, a little difficult without the mic, but we're gonna do our best here. So, you all talked about quite a few things along the same thing, but I'm wondering, is there something at your school that either a teacher or the staff is doing really well? Everybody should be doing this at their school that would help students and staff. You have one? Go ahead.
I haven't used it yet, but at my home there's this thing called SUSO, and you just report on it, and it's like who's bullying you or who's doing what to you, and it doesn't even need to be about school. If your parents that are like abusing you, or if something bad is happening, you can just like put that on SUSO and tell them about it.
Noah, you win the prize. Awesome. Yes. So I was wondering if anyone would want to mention SUSO. That's the acronym for Speak Up, Speak Out. It is the Department of Justice. They have a resource center, and they have this Speak Up, Speak Out. It's a notification system, and it's district-wide. All the schools have it. So yay, thank you. No, I'm glad you mentioned that. Remind me to give you a prize. But parents, it's not only for school staff and for students, but it's for parents, it's for community. If you see something, it's pretty much like see something, say something, right? Speak up, speak out, and it's anonymous. You can send an anonymous notification, an anonymous tip. It's a tip line. You can send that, and it goes to the school staff, and you don't have to worry about your name being in anything, or it's anonymous. No one knows. You just alert the school staff of the issue so that adults can take care of the situation. But your parents can use it, grandparents can use it, anybody can use it. So thank you, Nora. Yes.
Thank you.
of what Mahone also does well is we have our zones of regulation, and it really helps with like self-control. We have these little things on our IDs, and we have zone checks. So there's the red zone, which is like you're really, really mad. Yellow zone, you're kind of angry, or you're kind of stressed, you know. Blue is if you're sick, or you're tired, or you're just really lazy. And green is the best zone you can be in. And I really think that helps teachers and students kind of recognize what their peers around them are feeling, or how they're doing. And we have these active zone checks, and it just really helps everybody around, because then the people around you know what type of mood you're in and how to treat you.
Another thing Mahone does really well is each grade level has like a counselor, and even if you're just feeling sad or you're tired, or you know, even if it's like a big situation, you know that you can go and talk to your counselor for however long it takes, like free of judgment, and then you can just say how you're feeling, and then they will, you know, address the situation.
Something that my school does is where we have these like balloons. So like when you write on the balloons, you can it's called lifting people up. So basically, you would write something kind about someone or something that you appreciate, and you would put it on their like picture. And personally, I think that has worked. Like we could be in the line, and I could just like look up, and like it would really make me feel better about myself.
At Washington, we have this thing called like a bullying contract. And so like if the person who's bullying you and they get like caught bullying you, it's like an automatic detention and referral program. And we're like also able to talk to our counselor, Miss Hildred, whenever we want.
Thank you. I'm gonna try to turning this microphone back on, so thank you so much. Okay, so we had quite a few guests come in after this announcement, so I just want to remind the audience as well. So if you have a question that is burning that you would like the students to answer, just kind of like raise your hand, and my friend Kirby will bring a card and a pencil. Just keep it general. Thank you. Okay. All right. So, but we just want to. So, my next question, as you know, I said the chief of school leadership is in the audience today, right? So, if you had his job for the day, you were president for the day, chief of school leadership for the day, what is something that you would change to make schools safer or more comfortable for all students and staff? Is there, because he's taking notes, so this is a good time to. So if you were chief of school leadership for the day, what is something you would do?
So pretty much what I would do is school safety at a lot of schools aren't very secure. And I know that it might be out of the school budget or really expensive, but if it's like a metal detector or a wand or something, because there's a lot of like weapons and other stuff going into schools, and just stuff happening nationally that's not safe for anybody. And it's kind of like, when is it going to be my school? And I feel like if we added that, it would add an extra layer of security to the schools and keep a lot of us safer, and could prevent a lot of future things from happening.
Oh, I had an idea, but I just lost it. Okay. I think generally that you should check up on bullies. Check up, because clearly they're feeling aggressive. They're especially not liking people at school because they're bullying them, or teachers, or something's going on that they are becoming aggressive, they are becoming unhappy, and that's just generally not a safe situation or a safe person to bring into school, and I think that people should check up on them.
One thing that I would definitely consider is stepping up their safety I do know that there's lots of safety protocols. I'm kind of going along with what she said. It might be too expensive, but another thing is, especially I've learned over fire drills that sometimes the routes that we have aren't the very best. I don't know if it's like with the school controls it or the district, but it's very overwhelming, and I feel like there could be safer options for those. And if I was the
Chief of school leadership.
yes, that, then I would definitely put that into action. No, it's just that the routes that we have are a little unpractical, and I feel like they could be a little more easier, and they could be safer for everybody.
And Amy, you mean like the historical practices, the traditional way that we, is that what you mean by the routes?
You said the routes.
Yeah.
Routes, okay, thank you, routes, okay, I'm sorry. Thank you.
I would probably add some sort of room where people who are feeling a little bit angry or anxious, or they just need some space and time, they could just go and kind of cool off or do what they need to do, eat some food maybe.
Let's be honest, not everyone in middle school understands the concept of kindness. There's a lot of bullies or mean people. That's why I think in the middle school we have advisory, and if I was chief of whatever he's chief of, I would probably go one day every week in advisory of just reviewing kindness and everything about kindness and how to be more kind and the importance of kindness and everything about kindness.
One thing I would do, I know someone was talking about it, but like the routes we take for like fire drills, for example, is making sure kids who say like are special needs have a way to get out, because maybe those kids aren't always taken into accountability of how they would deal with things in certain situations.
Kind of like what he said and she said, we need to almost like normalize more that there's going to be bullies and there's going to be outrageous behavior, and maybe like adding a room to schools where one you can relax, talk to people, and calm down.
We do like choose love in our school. I think like we could do something like classes of being kind, because some people are not kind at all.
On the topic of groups, I feel like there should be like a little test to know the test for like kids and to know that they know where the routes are, because like some people don't know where the routes is, so they only follow a person that is in front of them, which can like go wrong in many ways.
All right, thank you. So, you know, we're hearing a lot about unkind behavior or students who are having issues or difficulty bullying. And I'm just curious, in your opinion, why? Like, what makes a bully? Like, you know, if we know that, maybe we can do different, right? Like, why do, in your opinion, obviously, right, in your words, how is a bully formed? Like, what makes a person just come, I'm wake up this morning and I'm going to be unkind to someone today. I'm going to bully someone today. Where do you think that comes from?
Okay, so in my perspective, bullies come from a lot of not like broken homes, but like if they have their own problems going on, like let's say they're having like body dysmorphia, or maybe their parents abuse them, or maybe they get yelled at, or like if you don't have a safe spot, you don't feel good, you don't feel happy, you don't have any good energy. And when you don't have that, the only thing that you can do is present on other people what you have. If you are upset and you're angry and that's all you feel, you're just gonna lash out on people. And I feel like that's what makes a bully. So if you don't have a comforting person or a comforting spot, or everything's just a mess, you're just gonna be messy, and it's just gonna affect everybody else that you like interact with, not just yourself.
Yeah, I think bullies come from generally that they're having problems. I saw something on social media one time. It said when school is escape from home and home is an escape from school. People like that, they start to get, they have nowhere to relax. They don't have a place that they don't have to worry about anything. And that means that they're gonna take it out on people, and like every time I've been mean to someone or rude to someone, it's because I can't get a break. That's always the reason I am mean or rude to somebody. And so, yeah, what she said, if someone's life is messy, they're gonna be messy and they're gonna be rude and angry and a bully.
I think what they said was on point, but I also think that if somebody is having just a really, really bad day and they're just done with everybody, like if they have a headache or they did bad on their test, they could be very well snappy at somebody and they could just not be it. So sometimes it could be a one-time thing, or if these things are happening continuously, then I believe that they need help or help from a teacher that can maybe improve this.
One way a bully could be made if they feel bad about themselves or they don't. It's basically a reflection on what they wish they had or what they don't have on somebody else, and they make them feel bad about it.
For me, if a bully came up to me and said, I don't like your clothes or your voice sucks, I would never ever say something mean to them back, because I don't know how they've been raised, how they've been treated, how anything about them. And that's why. Okay.
I think adding on to what the first two said, it definitely comes from people that have their own issues outside of school. And then especially in school when they're not being listened to, whether that be by a counselor, a teacher, a peer, then that frustration they start taking out on other people. And then eventually that frustration becomes a routine. And then over time, that's what makes them a bully.
Adding on to what most people say, but let's be real, we all think of the standard bully as, oh, it comes from home, you're just upset as home. But really, when a bully could be, it can form from school as well. If a kid says something to a kid and they get mad, getting angry is a reaction that can snap off so fast you don't realize it happens.
I agree with what she said, because like everybody, like all the teachers at school always say that like bullies are mean because like what's happening at home. But like sometimes you could just like be done with the day, or you could just be irritated.
On the topic of what she said, a bully could be somebody who has been bullied in the past. It doesn't just mean that they came from a house that looked like issues or something. And I think it should like really be put out there that they can like talk to somebody instead of because like they feel nervous to go to a counselor or something. I think that should be known that they can come on their own time. I agree with all of them. Bullying does come from abusive home, and they feel like they can take it out on other people to make them feel relaxed and everything.
Thank you. So in getting back to the theme of the week is kindness begins with me, right? So getting back to that kindness, how can we use kindness to kind of combat some of these issues of what you're talking about? Like let's bring it back to kindness. Like what we're leaving here tonight, like what can we do different, not only this week, but as we journey through? Like what can we do different at work, home, school, to use kindness and whatever else goodness, right? To combat some of these things.
I'd say like if you just see someone that looks kind of sad, I'd say just like maybe say something nice, or like even smiling at them or waving, like acknowledging them in like a kind manner, I feel like helps better their mood and spread kindness, because you're not glaring at them or making them think that everyone's mad or this or that. I feel like just even a simple smile or like a compliment, just simple little things can help someone else feel better about themselves, or like make their day or do something that will just boost them up. And I feel like that would help share kindness, and it would lower the amount of like bullies or like upset people in the world, and it would just make it better for everybody.
I think to use kindness to combat bullying is to just care about the bully's feelings. Because, as I said earlier, when someone shows kindness to me, that makes me feel good. And so when you have to care about the bully too. So it's like, sorry, I don't know how to describe it. You give the person, let them use their time with you as a break. Let them feel relaxed, let them feel like it's okay that they're feeling this way. Tell them all that, and just let them know that it's gonna be over soon and you'll be okay. It's gonna end well.
I think a way that you can improve your kindness is definitely, let's use this for an example. Sometimes at home, I can be a little mean to my parents because sometimes I'm just in a bad mood or I'm tired. And I think the best way that me or really anybody with that issue is to just think about the actions that you're doing before you even do it. Just take a second and breathe, go into a different room, think about it. But at school, it's a different thing. These are your friends, not your family. And they could easily drop you if you say something wrong or you do something really bad. So I think it's the same thing. You just have to take a second and breathe. But that could definitely help a little bit. But there's so many other ways you could do to help that.
I feel like if someone's having a rough day or you think that they just look kind of sad, you can do one small act of kindness for them and it can kind of change their whole day. One small act of kindness can kind of just outweigh an entire rough day.
Well, when you wake up, you don't automatically think, I'm gonna give 5 people compliments today. You think, I'm gonna eat breakfast, I'm gonna have to go to work, I'm gonna have to leave, and then I'm gonna do something. You gotta find opportunities to be kind. It just doesn't come. You gotta make opportunities for yourself to be kind.
I think if someone is angry or someone is bullying you, don't do the same thing to them that they're doing to you. Just take a step back, breathe, and just be kind to them.
I really agree with what most of them said, but when being kind, I really like to think of it as what goes around comes around. So like, let's say, I'll get earrings by the way, but let's say if I said, oh, your earrings are ugly, then Timmy's gonna do it, then Charlotte's gonna do it, then Maddie's gonna do it. But then if I say, oh, I love your earrings, then other people are gonna, oh, those are really cool earrings now that I look at it. So basically, moral of the story, what goes around comes around.
With the quote, kindness begins with me. It could take like years to build a friendship and like seconds to end one. And I'll be honest, like people say that if you can compliment one person, makes a change. There's like a small chance that might happen, but it still could happen. I agree with the first person. It's always the little things that can make somebody's day.
Wow, nice, thank you. So I'm hearing one small act of kindness that makes a big deal. And I'm hearing we have to be intentional about it. Be intentional, I like that. Like we have to find a way to make that be a part of our day. Because I'm with you, I gotta get up, I gotta go to work, and my wife and mom, right, yeah. In school, it's a lot of stuff. So putting it on our in our mindset, like I'm going to be intentional about being nice today. And it's not just about bullies, right? I think it's just about being nice in general as humans, showing human kindness. And I think that goes a long way. I was also reminded of a few years ago, we had a Just Say Hello campaign in our district. And, you know, it was launched in May, the Make Better World Day campaign. But KUSD students launched a Just Say Hello campaign. I think that goes a long way too, right? When you see someone in the hallways at school, or I know in my family, because especially my kids, like when I'm at the grocery store, it doesn't matter where I'm at the grocery store, the pharmacy, I'm always saying hello to people. But I think it just goes a long way. One time, I remember several years ago, I was at a McDonald's with my children, and I said hello to this woman on the way in. And on our way out, she said to me, she said, "Excuse me, ma'am, can I just say thank you?" She said, "You're the first person who has said hello to me today." And she said, "I've been standing outside here waiting, she's having a hard day." She said, "But just so you know, you seeing me made my day." And I was just raised like that. I was raised by my grandmother, my mother, just to be kind to people. You never know what a person is waking up with, whether they're having a good day or a bad day, and you just saying hello or just a smile goes a long way. That is awesome. Thank you so much. So at this time, are there any questions from the audience? Okay, come on up. Thank you.
All right, so far we just have one question from the audience. And the question is, what can the Kenosha Public Library do to help students and kids overall?
Okay, so me and like my group of friends, we love going to the libraries because like there's books, it's comforting, it's quiet usually. And I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like they're doing a good job because it provides a very safe and comforting environment. And I feel like a lot of people that need that little break go there and they can find a book that they like, or they can just work on homework, or they can just sit in the silence or like just in the sounds of people. And I feel like that is like just great. So I feel like that they're doing everything that they need to by providing a very comforting and safe environment. If they can keep that up, it'll be good.
Well, I think I agree with what she said. The library is a very comforting and good environment to be in. And it's just always a break, a relaxation. In my opinion, reading a book is also a different way of expressing your emotions, as well as listening to music. So I think if the library can just keep up what they're doing and just keep up the great selection of books.
Books, I know, are definitely the main event of the library, but I do know that the Kenosha Library does have certain activities for any age group, really, and I really think that it's something fun to do for kids, teenagers, and even adults if they just need a break or doing something that they love.
I know whenever I go to public library, I see there's sections about sports, there's sections about all types of different stuff. I bet even if it's a small one, you can make a section about kindness and giving, and that would definitely go a long way.
I know at our school, Mahone, like the library gives kids an opportunity to just chill out, relax, listen to music, read a book, and that helps kids refocus, relax, so when they go back up to their classes, they're able to be kind to other people and not take out their anger and frustration on them.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. Our school library, so like when we go get our books, it's not the quietest, it's not the most calming and relaxing place to be in. But I feel like when I go to the public library, it's like a different setting and they're doing things like perfectly. Like it's quiet, it's nice. There's a very nice, genuine selection of books, and I feel like they should keep up the good work.
So I think the public library is like a place if you are mad. Because most people like it quiet when they're mad. Some people don't, but a lot of people are gonna do it. And they could just like go in there, because most of the time it's quiet. And like when you're reading a book or something, it's because like you're not gonna probably interact with people that much. But like when you're reading a book and doing your own thing,
somebody can help me like go through and see what books I like, what genre of books I like, and then I was able to find some books. And now I like reading. I do the law. The public library is a quiet place where you can just go to and you don't have to deal with all the noise.
Thank you, thank you. These students have been amazing. Let's give them a big round of applause. I am proud of you. I'm proud to be a part of Kenosha Unified School District and such an amazing group of students. I appreciate you for taking the time. We are coming to that point of the program. We're coming to a close of this part. There will be a few minutes. Please don't swarm them like paparazzi. I know they're amazing. Allow them, you can meet and greet them. Some of them are going to be leaving right away. Allow them to maybe get a snack or refreshment in the back on your way out. But we're going to, I want to close with some announcements, and Kirby's going to remind us of the kindness pledge that a group of us heard on Saturday. We've been hearing it all week. But before we go, this final question, if you have anything, is there anything that I didn't ask today, the audience didn't ask, like, I really wish I could have shared this. So I don't want you to leave without being able to share it. So anyone need the mic? You really have any final words, any final comments for us? Absolutely.
How do I put this? One very important aspect of being kind is giving. And students don't just go to school and naturally give each other stuff. So there has to be opportunities set up by schools, like Valentine's or candy grams, where you're giving people treats on their birthday that will help them. But the problem with that is that then they will see the people with more money as more nice, and the people who don't have as much money as me. So you've got to find a way to make it okay to give someone something while it's still not costing any money, just like a card or a compliment. Yeah,
Okay, so I don't know how to put this, but almost to a point where like treat everyone like they're having a bad day. So like treat everyone as, as they're not doing so well. Because when you treat everybody like they're happy and they're okay, they're content, you don't really go out of your way to be kind. You're just, oh, they're okay, you don't need help. But then when you see a sad person, you're like, oh, what's wrong? Are you okay? How are you feeling? So like to the point where treat everybody like they aren't having a good day.
I remember now. So, I'm going to say that, like, our teacher always tells us that, like, you can always make somebody say, like, if you just say good morning to them or something, you can make them really happy.
The thing I wanted to talk about is noticing, like, acknowledging, like, because sometimes it's very hard to tell, because sometimes it looks like they're friends and they talk to each other, but, like, sometimes they make jokes, which makes the other person feel bad, but they don't realize that, and I feel like they should really speak up about that.
Anyone else? We good? Okay, I just want to make sure that you all have an opportunity. Well, again, thank you so much. You all have been amazing. Let's give them another big round of applause. Some announcements. So our final Kindness Week event is happening on Saturday, January 21st. At 11 o'clock. It is a free musical concert. It features the musical talents of Leah Neeson-LaCool and Karen Mariah. And I apologize if I'm not saying those names correctly, but the pair have been a musical duet since 1984. They're trained musicians, performers, and songwriters. And this is going to be a free concert at the Kenosha Public Museum. They will celebrate acts of kindness and good cheer as they lead the audience in songs that celebrate the best of the human spirit. So, awesome. That event is free to the public, 11 until 4 o'clock.
It's at 1 o'clock.
Oh, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
Thank you.
No problem.
Don't show up at 11. It is at 1 o'clock. Thank you. My notes said 11. Thank you, Doug. So, and again, just because Kindness Week is ending does not mean our kindness has to end, obviously, right? We have heard some amazing things from these young people this evening that will help us spread kindness and good cheer all year long. Even if we don't make that concert, that's at 1 o'clock on Saturday. All right. Just in closing, we always try to, when we leave from this space, we try to talk about action steps. What can we do to take from what we learned here and take it out into the world, into our workspace, into school, in different places. And I think the students have pretty much laid out a great plan for us. They have pretty much set out a great outline and a framework of being intentional, treating everybody. What if we treated everybody like they were having a bad day, right? Like just overly kind. I may be annoyed with that in the morning if I haven't had coffee yet, Bill, I'm just saying. But just the reminders of seeing people for people, being humankind, sharing human kindness. Hello. A smile, right? I think we need to get back to those roots, those habits, and I think our students pretty much laid it out very clear for us. I do want to remind us of the SUSO app. It is an app that you can download on your phone. Speak Up, Speak Out. It is, you can go to the Department of Justice website and you will see it there. Speak Up, Speak Out. It has lots of information there. Again, this is an anonymous tip line that you can share any information. If you have a concern about anything that you feel is a concern of safety for your students or staff in the community or at school. So I want to remind us of that as well. And at this time, I would like, I'm going to invite my friend Kirby up, and he's going to share some remarks and the kindness pledge, I believe. Thank you.
Two things as we close out this evening. One, this is a small sample size of the brilliance of the students that are in this district. And we got a small taste of what it means to elevate youth voice in our city. And my hope is that through this event and others, that we would find more ways to include students in the decisions that we make every day about our community and about schools. Secondly, this week, it is not just to have conversations about kindness, and have warm feelings in our stomach about being nice to each other. We can use this week to set the tone for the rest of our year, that as we center thoughts of kindness, that each and every day we'll remember to treat people in a way that will leave them better than when they first came in contact with us. So with that said, I want to ask us to stand and we'll recite the kindness pledge. I just want to ask you to repeat after me and we'll close out that way. Today I pledge to be the kindest possible me.
Today I pledge to be the kindest possible me.
No matter how kind I am,
No matter how kind I am,
I know I can become kinder.
I know I can become kinder.
Today I pledge to build bridges
Today I pledge to build bridges
of communication with others
of communication with others,
so we can have kind,
so we can have kind,
loving relationships.
loving relationships.
Today I pledge to serve my community
Today I pledge to serve my community
whenever and wherever I find others in need.
whenever and wherever I find others in need.
Today I pledge to reach for new heights and horizons,
Today I pledge to reach for new heights and horizons,
to find new opportunities for spreading kindness. Each day I will remind myself of our kindness theme.
Each day I will remind myself of our kindness theme.
Kindness begins with me.
Kindness begins with me.
Have a great night, everybody.